everyone, it is time to play the TBR game again, and this time we are playing it for the month of May. So, I'll explain a little bit about my TBR game, and then we'll get into looking at last month's TBR and see how I did. So, I'm playing Boxwood the Librarian's Libunnery, and this is my board. It's essentially a Chutes and Ladders board. If you want a detailed explanation of the game, you can go to the link down in the description. But the general gist is that you have this Chutes and Ladders board, which is Boxwood's library. And there are 5 different colors of squares. I roll one 6-sided die 5 times throughout the game. If I go down a chute, I have to do an extra roll and have an extra book. If I go up a ladder, I get to pick a reward card. And if I finished my TBR from last month, I get a reward card. And then when I get to the final spot on the board, I get to not only purchase a book as a reward, guilt-free, but I also pick a reward card for the next round. So, I'll tell you about the little squares first. So there are 5 different colors. So the blue is our pellet cards, and those are mainly genre. The green is our binky cards. Those are some sort of game that I play in order to get to the book choice. The brown is Mr. Bund, which is author or publisher sort of prompts. Pink is Bunventure, which is plot, character, or setting. And yellow is Clover, and that is cover or title prompts. I'm sitting up here where I was at the end of the last game. So let's see, first of all, if I succeeded last month. So the 5 books that I had to read for the game last month were Doomsday Book by Connie Willis. This one was a pick for a mix of genres based on a spinner wheel. So I had science fiction and historical. So this is a time travel book, and I finished that one. I also had to read a book with a weapon on the cover. So I chose The Lords of the North by Bernard Cornwell. And I am happy to say that finally I got this one done. I read this one and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Then I had to read one based off of a spinner wheel of books that I would like to read at some point. And I got Scarlet by Stephen Lawhead and thoroughly enjoyed that one. And for a book that matched a certain picture that I randomly scrolled and found, I chose The Survivors by Jane Harper. This was the only Jane Harper I hadn't read yet. Read that one, finished it. And I had a book with a person on the cover, and for that I chose Mistborn by Brandon Sanderson, and I finished that, which means that I get to choose a reward carrot. This is only the second time since I started that I've gotten to choose one of these. These are my carrots. So they are my little rewards, and the rewards have something to do either with part of the game or just some other reward for myself. But I will pick one. So shuffle them up, cut the deck, and we'll take this one. I'll show it to you guys first. Hopefully it's right side up. Roll and move forward spaces for free. So I am going to go ahead and do that. So my first roll, it means my first roll is free. I don't have to pick a book for that one. So let's go ahead and do roll number 1 and see how far we get to move. Okay, let's see. Roll number 1 is a 4. Okay, so here's little Eeyore, and we're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4 right there. That would have been a Mr. Bund card, but we got a free roll. So let's go ahead and do roll number 2. Okay, here is roll number 2, a 5. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we happen to have landed on a Mr. Bund card again. So I will go and pick one. As I mentioned, here's my Mr. Bund cards. These are author and publisher type prompts. So we will mix these up and cut the deck. Take this one. Show it to you guys first. Read a sequel. Okay, I will pick something and be right back. For a sequel, I chose Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. This is the final book in the Emily Wilde trilogy. I have been wanting to read this. It came in at the library last month and I never got a chance to get around to it. So I'm going to put this one on the TBR. If you're not familiar with Emily Wilde, this is a series written by Heather Fawcett, and it follows a woman named Emily who is a scholar at Cambridge. It takes place in the early 1900s, and she is a dryadologist, so she studies the fairy. And she and her, he starts out as her nemesis / co-worker / friend, and of course, their relationship develops throughout the books. But Wendell Bambleby and her, they go in search of these fairies. She's trying to finish an encyclopedia that she's writing. And then in the second one, she's working on a map of the fairylands. And then in this one, it's the final book in the series. And I don't want to tell you too much about it, but it continues their adventure. And I'm really looking forward to it. All right, let's go to roll number 3. Okay, roll number 3. A 6. Let's see where that takes us. I'm getting worried about that chute. Might be in luck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We made it. And we're almost to our free book. Okay, so we are on a green square, which is my Binky square. Green is Binky, and these ones are all some sort of game. These are some of my favorite ones to play. I just enjoy playing the games. So let's see what we get this time. I have a wide variety of games, so some of them are easier than others and some are quite difficult. Show it to you guys first. It seems like a long one, which is concerning. Randomly generate a shelf and a book on that shelf with a random number. Okay, so I will take you with me and we will go to my office and randomly generate a shelf in there and choose a book off that shelf randomly. Let's go. Okay, so here we are in my rather messy library, which, yes, I am aware is still decorated for fall, but that is because I just haven't had time to fix that. And my sister and I are going to be going through all of our books and rearranging everything as a spring project, so I didn't bother changing anything. But on this wall, this is my fiction wall. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shelves, 7 shelves. And this over here is my nonfiction, which I will also include in that. So if I do that, we go from 7, we'll go 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which is more kids' books, is generally what's on number 12. So I'm going to randomly generate a number for the shelf out of 12, and then we'll see how many books are on that shelf. Okay, so here's our random number generator, and we have 1 to 12, and we are going to try and generate. And we got shelf number 4. That puts us at 1, 2, 3, 4, which is this shelf here. I've read some of the stuff on this shelf, but not everything. So let us randomly generate after I count how many are on here. After counting them, I found I have 78 books on that shelf, so let's randomly generate one. Number 52. Let's see what that is. Okay, so over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. We need 52. 51, 52. So that is this book here, which is a cozy mystery called A Cat with No Clue by Lydia Adamson. Our random number generator picked A Cat with No Clue by Lydia Adamson. This is about actress and amateur sleuth Alice Nestleton, and she says she thinks up the perfect anniversary gift for her elderly actor friends. She has a chef whip up a replica of the meal the couple share on their first date. They eat every bite, and the next day they're dead from food poisoning. Of course, the only witnesses are the couple's two little kittens. Definitely cute, but certainly not viable on the witness stand. To say that Alice is the prime suspect would be an extreme understatement. And while the actor and Alice may love the spotlight, this is not the kind of attention she needs. So, this is a cozy mystery. It was written, these are all quite old. This one was written in 2001. And back in the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was in high school and university, I collected a ton of cozy mysteries involving cats. And I bought almost the entire series of these Lydia Adamson ones, the Alice Nestleton mysteries, and then she has one other series about a vet. And I collected them back then, and I never actually read one. So I wanted to read one so that I can see if I still want to keep this series that I collected back then. So this is actually perfect to get one of these old books like this so I can see whether this is something that I actually want to keep on my shelves or if I'm going to unhaul it. So we will call that roll number 3. Now we're ready for roll number 4, and we stand a good chance of getting our carrot. Okay, roll number 4. We got a 4. Okay, so as you can see, that takes us 1, and then we get our carrot reward. Woohoo! But we're going to go back to the start here for 2, 3, 4, and we are on another Binky card. Let's just take a moment to appreciate that I got my reward. Yes. So I will, at the end of this game, I will pick a reward that will count towards the next game, which is what I get for that carrot. Here are our Binky cards, and we are going to mix them up again. 2 Binky cards in one game, that's always fun. Cut the deck, and we'll take this one. Show it to you guys. Let a friend pick your book. Okay, well, I'm going to text my sister and get her to choose a book for me. And I will come back and let you know. I will insert here what that book is. So I talked to my sister, and she recommended that I read Look Closer by David Ellis. Now, I went and I looked at the library website, and all of the copies are out, but there are a few that are due back early on in May. So I'm hoping that they'll come back in time. And if they don't, I'm going to, I did also order in one of his older books that is also available. So I am hoping that that one comes in. Look Closer by David Ellis. It looks like it is about a wealthy Chicago couple who look like they have a stable marriage, but absolutely nothing is what it seems. When a beautiful socialite is found hanging in a mansion in a nearby suburb, Simon and Vicky's complex web of secrets begins to unravel. So sounds really interesting. So hopefully that one will come in. If it doesn't, I've also ordered in one called The Best Lies. And that one is about a man who's diagnosed as a pathological liar with unthinkable skeletons in his family closet. He is also a crusading attorney who seeks justice at all costs. When a ruthless drug dealer is found dead and Leo's fingerprints show up on the murder weapon, no one believes a word he says, but he might be the FBI's only shot at taking down the dealer's brutal syndicate. So that's another, that's the other one that I'll read if the first one doesn't come in time. So let's go on to roll number 5. Okay, number 5. We got a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We are on another Mr. Bund card. Well, 'tis the season for Binky and Mr. Bund cards, I guess. So here's my Mr. Bund cards, author and publishing. Oh, and I will pick my reward carrot for the next game here after this too. Cut the deck, take this card. Okay. The cat is playing. Okay, I have to read a book by an author with the same initials as mine. So in my case, that's RS. So I will look up a book that has an author with the initials RS, and I will be right back. So I decided that the author with my initials that I am going to try is Riley Sager. I have never read anything of his before, and I know he's popular on BookTube, and so I really wanted to try something of his. I decided to order it at the library, the only one left. It's his 2003 release. I thought it'd be a lot easier to get in the library than his newest one from 2004. So this one looks like it is a book about there's a murder that takes place of this family in 1929, and only one person, her name is Hope, is left. And so she gets accused of the murder, but nobody can prove it. And then the rest of the story takes place, I think, in the 1980s. And there's a woman who goes to be her nurse as she is old and has had a stroke. And weird things start happening. And it looks really, really interesting. So that will be my pick for a book by an author who shares my initials. So that means that is all of the books for this time. So I am going to be reading Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales for a sequel. I'll be reading A Cat with No Clue by Lydia Adamson for a randomly generated book off of my shelves. I will be reading The Only One Left by Riley Sager for a book by an author who shares my initials. And I will be hopefully reading Look Closer by David Ellis for a book suggested to me by a friend. And then obviously I had the free roll. So because I finished my board, I'm going to go ahead and pick my carrot for next week or for next month. So this carrot will help me when I start next month, unless it happens to be one that's just like a general reward, then I could do it this month as well. And I'm hopefully I'll probably buy my book in June because I'm headed up to the city in June. So I'll be able to go and buy a book for a reward in June. Let's take this one. So here's my carrot. Choose a 5-star prediction on the next roll. Okay, so that means that at the beginning of next month, I get to choose a 5-star prediction instead of rolling my first roll. The other thing that I do every month, as you will recall, is I also participate in a few challenges. So the first one is the buzzword challenges from Books and Lala, and I will put Kayla's link down in the description. And so I'm doing the buzzword challenge. She has a cover challenge and a word challenge. So this month, the word challenge is to have the words to or two, T-O or T-O-O, in the book title. And I chose to read Book to Die by John Dunning. This is the first book in a mystery series. I think there's 5 books in it that I had been wanting to read for a long time and never got a chance to. It was published in 1992, so it's early 90s, but it's something that I had wanted to read for a long time. And this follows ex-Denver homicide detective Cliff Janeway, who has now become the owner of a small bookshop. He collects rare and first editions. But when prized volumes in a highly sought-after collection begin to appear, so do dead bodies, and his life is now about to change in profound and shocking ways. So that one looks interesting. I've been wanting to read that one for a long time. That's my 2 book. And then for the cover prompt, I needed something that has an eye on the cover. And this is another one that I've been wanting to read for a long time, and I'm glad I only had to roll 4 times for the board. I'm glad I only had to pick 4 books because this is a monster. And this is The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova, and as you can see, there is an eye on the cover. And this book, it Says, late one night, exploring her father's library, a young woman finds an ancient book and a cache of yellowing letters. The letters are all addressed to my dear and unfortunate successor, and they plunge her into a world she never dreamed of, a labyrinth where the secrets of her father's past and her mother's mysterious fate connect to an inconceivable evil hidden in the depths of history. And it seems like it'd be right up my alley. I know both my sisters have read it and enjoyed it, so I have been wanting to read that one. So that's the 2 for that. The other challenge that I do every month is the BTS Book Club Challenge. It's based off of Twitter or X, and I'll link that down in the comments below too. It's for fans of the band BTS. And our prompt for the month of May was to read a book that was set in the soup or in the Somme. Now in Korean, in the soup means in the forest, and in the Somme means on the Somme means on the island. So I decided for that one to read The Sanatorium by Sarah Pierce, but if you've watched my previous month-end videos, you'll know that I did read this one earlier this year. I believe I read it in January or February. So I've already checked that one off my list, so I don't have to read that one this month. Then the final thing that I have to pick is my short story book for the month, because I did finish last month's book, which was Stories of Suspense. It was a bunch of older stories. It had the birds and Flowers for Algernon, the original short story, and some books like that in it, or stories like that in it. And I finished that one last month. So this is the container with all of my short story collections. Oops. This has all my short story collections in it. A lot of these, well, most of these are older short story collections that I collected over the years at used bookstores and things. And we will pick one, and hopefully I don't have to go over to my parents' basement to find it. But let's see. All right, let's just pick one. This one is The Ghost Stories of Edith Wharton. Okay, that I do believe is over at my parents' house, so I'm not going to bother going and getting it right now. I'll go and get it later for myself. But it sounds like it is ghost stories told by Edith Wharton. Very descriptive. So that will be the short story collection that I will try and read this month, and hopefully that will go well, and hopefully I will enjoy it. Let me know if you've read any of the books that I'm picking and what you thought of them, and I will see you guys soon on my next video. Give me a like and a subscribe if you haven't already, and happy reading. Bye.